Hey everyone, welcome to my tutorial on Scratch. I'm currently using Camtasia to do so. This is Jesse Lang. I recently came across Scratch about a year ago when I first started teaching technology to my 10th grade students in Baltimore City. Let me start off by going over some of the resources that the game and the website itself have before we start talking about how I used it in my classroom and how you can use it in your classroom. So here we go. The first thing that Scratch has is, like I said, it has a lot of really cool resources right available on the actual website. And I found that these tutorials that are on the website are really helpful because for me, like I said, I just started kind of working with this. This is what our technology department was doing last year. And this was brand new to me. So some of these video tutorials that I actually went over, for example, how to do some of the basics. So that way when my kids ask me, I could actually do it and try and help them out because we don't want to be in that situation. So there's a lot of different tutorials like how to add a backdrop, how to do some smoothing, just some basic things for people. But something that I kind of really found helpful was available on their website. They have a For Educators where they talk a lot about how people have used it in their classrooms and how some of the resources kind of work across all the ages. They also have some webinars here, curriculum guides, and some other things that I'll actually show you what I actually did. And I based most of my unit around this. So Scratch, you can either download it, which is what I had on my computers, but something that's new to Scratch 2.0 this year is that you can actually do it all strictly online. So what I did here is I did a simple event. So when green is clicked, this cat's going to move 130 steps. So it's going to move 130 steps forward, and it's going to say the word hello for 2 seconds. So just to try it out, this is not a very complex one. I'll show you what one of my students have done. But every time that I press green, it will automatically go forward and move 130 steps and say hello. It has a lot of different other features too. You can tell it to move this way. You can tell it to show different things, hide different costumes. So that way, instead of having a cat, you can have a helicopter, or you can have a people use bunny rabbits and everything else to kind of talk about these different things. So the pen tool, you can have it clear, change to different colors. Events, like I said, these are kind of key things. So when it gets to a certain level, this is what's going to happen. When I receive message 1, I broadcast this. Broadcasting means put up like a new level or new background, and you can have things repeat forever, indefinitely, repeat until something happens. Sensing, so if this, for example, went across here and there was something that was in red, I could say, okay, game over, which you'll actually see when we do the student example. More blocks. So why don't we get started? I keep talking about it. Why don't we just jump to what my one student did? Again, this is what I would say probably the best student that I had last year did, and I also provided some more examples on my website. But you can see right here that she did a lot of really big detail and things that, for me just starting off, I would say she actually probably did a better job of doing so. So she has different broadcasts. So if you're touching the color purple, then you go wait 1 second, and then you actually win. What she did is she designed a video game trying to help out on memory, and what the goal is. You can actually read her instructions. So here, let's press go. In this game, your objective. So I had the kids actually create not only just their own game, but they had to create their own objective. And they had to move a boy across the screen without touching any of the mice. When you start the level, memorize where the mice are so you can get across it when the lights go out. So it tries to really help with some kids' memory skills. And again, I mean, all this is kind of going on, and you'll see it light up over here. So we'll actually try and start playing it. So what you have to do is essentially get across. I think I did it. And when it reaches gray, next level happens. Well, she also put some kind of add-ins there. So, for example, if I'm getting lost, oops, I stepped on the mouse. Play again, and it's kind of cool because it starts you all over. So you have to really kind of pay attention to where everything's at. And she said that she thought this was kind of really good because it really helped out when it came to memorization and building brain functions. So I'll show you this time. I won't try and step into the mouse, but when you touch the flashlight, or blue is how she had it, that you get another sense of where the flashlight is actually. Let's see. Oh. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what she did. Now, in my class, how I start off the entire unit is I give them a background on what storyboards are. And I tell them that they have to create a video game essentially about helping someone else out. So, for example, I show them some of the benefits of storyboards, some examples of them. This is one of an actual game. And then I have them, where is it? I have them actually create their own storyboard. Again, this is all available from scratch. So it really did help when it kind of helped kids kind of guide what they wanted their project to look like and how they were going to accomplish it. So what I was going to have them do in each step, what background I'm going to have, where they're going to move, what scene is this. And some of my kids took, 10, 15 sheets. And they were really trying to mapping out some of these different concepts. On top of that, I'll just go over some of the requirements for this project. So this is a national game challenge that they offer out every single year, which kind of gets my kids really involved. And I always talk about that, my kids are competing on a national, international level. So when they get this game, it's really cool for them to kind of say, I'm not competing with just my classmates. I'm competing with people around the country in order to try and win money for the school and, of course, for them. So I give them a little background on it, and then I want them to come up with their own ideas. They have to give me a little description about it. They complete their own Scratch character, not just a cat. Like you saw there was a boy with the hat. And the attributes that these characters have. So some characters will shoot fire out, other characters will shoot different things. The PowerPoint we went over in class can be found there. And what they're going to do is do a little tiny design brief, and essentially they're going to start working on it. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I use this in my classroom? And that's kind of the first thing that I was wondering. I was like, okay, well, I'm a technology teacher, so it makes perfect sense how this can make sense to me. However, the more that I dove into Scratch, the more applications I kind of saw for it. It really gets kids involved, and for example, you can see right here, there's a Scratch in English and social science classes. So what they actually did is they had kids create historical video games that kind of teach different types of units. In this one, it was autism awareness. This is a Spanish lesson. And even if you don't teach a regular class, if you want to teach like an art class, so it talks about Scratch art classes and music classes. And let me see, I saw an example here on the feature project, and this is the main page of Scratch. But so for example, in English class, what they had this student do is they just went on and they looked at the Ballad of Quoad and the Melancholy Moon. So remember that the student is creating this. It's not the teacher creating this. However, the teacher could create this if they want to come across some kind of a lesson. So this is an interactive poem. You can kind of see it right there in the notes. I'll let it play for a little bit. So it's a very interactive poem. It's a very interactive poem where they try to get the students, again, involved in kind of this writing process. And when we're talking about video games and things like that, what kid doesn't want to design their own video game? It's something that I mentioned the first day of class, and I see all my kids perk up and they go, "We're actually going to be doing that." And you can tailor this to, like I just showed. I mean, you can really tailor this to any kind of class. So here you go. This one says video game increases test scores. So it goes through how this program is essentially really helping. And like I showed you guys, you don't have to download anything. So all you have to have is just a computer with internet, and you can have your kids starting to create some masterful pieces. Some of the tutorials I did, and I had some of my students go through, so they were working at a pace that was a little bit behind mine, but essentially it was really cool to show, and I'm excited how my kids are going to use it this year. Thank you for coming. If you guys have any other questions about Scratch, please let me know. Like I said, also just go onto the scratch.mit.edu, and there's a lot of different things underneath the help section to really kind of guide you in how can this apply to my specific classroom. All right, thank you guys so much, and I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say.